Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here we talk about UK Global Talent Visa. And today I want to talk about media recognition for your Tech Nations UK Global Talent Visa application. I think there is a lot of misconceptions, myths about media recognition, and I want to talk about what is actually needed and what is not at all when it comes to media recognition, OC2 criteria and mandatory criteria. So the first thing that I always get asked is, does it have to be like a Forbes level media outlet when it comes to your media recognition? There's actually no definition or no guidelines of like what the media outlet should look like, as opposed to, let's say, they want 100 plus offline conference participants. But for the media outlet, there is no really a rule, but we have unspoken rule. For all of our clients, we say at least 10,000 monthly visits the blog or the outlet should have. You can easily check it by just putting the link into SimilarWeb or other services like this, and they will tell you estimation of how many monthly visits the source has. What is important when it comes to the source or media outlet is that it cannot be LinkedIn or Medium, so kind of self-published a blog. So ideally it would be published somewhere else and not by you as well. And the second bit is, I often get asked, if I publish my own blog, does it work? Actually, no, but there are some exceptions. So we recently had a case who got endorsed, and the person, they had their own blog, but the blog was really well referenced in the industry. So the person would publish an article and then would have multiple sources mentioning the article and kind of benchmarking to the article's ideas. So this shows validation from the industry as well. This would work. But if you just published a blog that is not mentioned in the industry at all and you just do it kind of for your own sake, then it would work. Another thing that wouldn't usually work is company blogs. So if you're working for a company and there are some blog posts about your even products or innovations or ideas, they wouldn't count it as activities outside occupation because it is within your job. I also often get asked how many views an article should have. And I heard somewhere that is like somewhere on the forums, they say it has to be like 100,000 views article at least. Never heard it like this. We had clients who got endorsed who had 5,000 views, 9,000 views, and quite a lot of clients, I would say majority, who didn't even have any views mentioned there. There are some resources, even on Forbes, where you cannot see how many views are there. So don't worry about the views. This is not important at all. Concentrate on the quality of the content better. So talking about the content. Very important thing about the content that you're going to produce is that the articles, who should be the author of the article? Ideally not you. Ideally it would be someone else who is posting. But again, if it's someone else on a company's blog that talks about your work, wouldn't work. So external media, someone else publishing it with your thoughts and your cases, etc. Why it is like this? Because they want a moderation, they want an editing of the article, that someone else kind of controls the narrative, not just you talking about yourself. Very common question, does it have to be UK-based media outlets? Not at all. If you are in Turkey or Brazil, you have a lot of publicity there and media recognition, that is totally okay. Even if it's not in English, it is totally okay as long as you provide certified translation, and obviously certified translation pages do not count towards the page count. So if you have 3 pages evidence piece document for OC2, you can have additional 2 pages of translation or 3 pages of translation in the same document. And finally, the topics. What do you talk about in the articles? What you need to be talking about is what Tech Nation calls industry advancing topics. So you talk about innovation, you talk about case studies, you talk about solutions, you talk about something really cool that you have done for the industry. What they don't want to see there is how to build a career as a product manager, how to become a tech entrepreneur in 2025, how to learn software engineering. So think about it like this. If the topic, does it bring something to the industry? Is it innovative? Does it like add something to the existing knowledge? If it doesn't, then don't publish it. If it does, then you're on the right track. And for mandatory criteria, they actually just needed 1 article that you can publish, that you can submit as a separate document. For OC2, I would recommend at least a couple for sure. And the last thing that I want to talk about is publishing articles right before your application. Someone also asked me, do you have to like paste them at 10 days between? On one hand, yes, you can, but you need to understand TechNation, they are not stupid. They will know that you've published articles right before the application if you don't have any other articles. And they might reject you based on that, or they might reject this document based on that. So if you only have recent articles, it could be problematic. Just make sure you understand that. But if it's not, let's say you're submitting 3 documents for OC2 and you have 2 other strong documents that could qualify you, then it's okay to add it. The same way if in mandatory criteria you have other documents and you're just submitting recent articles, that can also be okay. But basing your case on recent articles to argue, for example, OC2, I wouldn't recommend.